Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Come.
Thank you, sir.
Introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Sujawal Jagga. I come from the city of Abohar, Punjab. I am a qualified chartered accountant with 4 years of corporate experience, including some short stints in Brazil and Japan. To mentor and guide CA students, I have started 2 YouTube series. I am 25 years old and this is my first attempt.
Okay. So how come you decided to sit for Punjab Civil Service?
Sorry, sir.
How come you started preparing, and what inspires you?
Sir, the goal and the passion to be in civil services was there from the beginning only. But due to some financial conditions and family constraints, I could not take up civil services right at the outset. So I prepared for CA, did job, accumulated decent financial savings, and then I took plunge in civil services.
Now, Sujawal, what does your name mean?
Sir, Sujawal, Su means acha, Ja means jana, Wal means rasta, अच्छे रास्ते पे जाने वाला.
Okay. So do you think it's a good? You always been doing that?
I believe, sir, till date I have been true to my name.
Sujawal, it also says you like to write rap songs.
Yes, sir.
So how is this? Because it's totally different from anything else in your.
And how do you define rap? It's adding to Saul's question. What is rap?
Sir, rap is a form of vocal delivery wherein generally the speed is generally a bit faster than the normal songs which we hear.
So how come this started?
Sir, it just started probably 5 to 7 years ago. It is just a form of when you experience certain emotional or fundamental changes in your life, and then to express those emotions or to express your feelings, you start to pen down or write or feel, and then suddenly you discover that art in yourself, that yes, I can do it in a certain form, and then I got a platform and I went ahead with that.
Okay. It says you mentor CA students.
Yes, sir.
So, you feel the success rate is very low in CA.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, right? So, what do you think is the major reason for that?
Sir, I couldn't understand that.
What do you think is the major reason for such a low success rate in CA?
Sir, there are multiple reasons for that. First of all, the curriculum or course is a bit difficult and challenging one. Secondly, it spans across 5 years. So sometimes students, due to some financial or family conditions, have to quit in between. And sir, thirdly, it also constitutes 3 years of training or articleship, which we call it. So balancing theory with the actual work experience is a bit challenging, which might lead to a bit lower success rate in
So
chartered.
did you write some rap on your CA time and your success and failures during it?
Yes, sir.
So can you share?
So can I take this mask?
No.
Sir, I named it as Punjab to PWC since I got articleship in PWC, which is like the best form for a CA student. So the rap goes like this. लो जी, सुन लो जी, दोस्तों के लिए खुशखबरी है, बाकी सारे सड़ लो जी. Have got through in first attempt of ITT and IPC, then roamed around with my CV from CP to Cyber CT. 30-day struggle had paid me off. Got offered from PWC to Jan sir. Statement made on February 8 had become a reality. बस इतू सी अंग्रेजी और सुन लो, फिर करता हूँ बात असली. मनी पे भी गाऊंगा, हनी का भी बताऊंगा, थोड़ा इंतजार करो तो सही. And then it goes on 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay. So, you're saying that you worked in various places, right?
Yes, sir.
So which all places have you been?
Sir, so my profile was of internal audit. It necessarily involves visiting multiple businesses, organizations, and then doing some audit work. So, sir, in India, I have done audit work at Jaipur, at Chennai, in Mumbai, to name a few places. And outside India, I have been to Brazil and Japan. Yes.
So being a CA is very lucrative. So
Yes,
why
sir.
don't you, make a firm practice? Why, you're preparing?
Sir, just like I told in the beginning, the CA to me was a means to be in civil services and be financially independent and not be a burden on my family. So being in CA or being a practicing chartered accountant was never on the cards. Rather, being in private sector made my conviction stronger to be in civil services.
Okay, right. Sujawal, what's your view on the latest privacy issue which is going on with WhatsApp and the Indian government?
Sir, it is a contentious issue as the government released new regulations in February around IT intermediaries that they have to ensure that traceability of the origin of the message, and then the appointment of some grievance redressal officers and nodal officers, and then but sir, the WhatsApp and Twitter, to be very specific, have been against these intermediary regulations, saying that these violate Article 21, that is right to privacy, and Article 19, that is freedom of speech and expression. And they say that it is not financially, also it will impose a certain cost, because to ensure traceability of one message, they have to maintain the numeric codes for all the messages. So that is the prime reason for this dispute.
Going ahead, what's your view on the farm agitation?
Yes, sir. Sir, farm agitation has started because of the 3 new farm laws which came into effect last year.
Can you name them?
Yes, sir. The first one is Farmer Produce Trade and Commerce Facilitation Act. Second one is Farmer Produce Contract Farming Facilitation Act. Third one is Essential Commodities Amendment Act 1955. So these 3 acts primarily aim at facilitating a nationwide market, that is breakdown almost a competition to the government-run APMCs. Secondly, they also facilitate contract farming, and third one is that to encourage the cold chain and other infrastructure, the stock holding limits have been liberalized. Now, the concerns of farmers and farmer organizations are around that APMC mandis will collapse due to private mandis, due to which the MSP regime might be affected. Secondly, contract farming is feared due to misuse or low bargaining power of farmers in front of corporates. And third, the Essential Commodities Act is being seen that it will encourage the stock holding, it will encourage the black marketing and increase in prices.
What's your view? Have you heard of some problem in Lakshadweep? There's some Save Lakshadweep
Yes, sir. Yes.
campaign is happening. What's that?
Sir, Lakshadweep problem relates to the recent regulations or the law and compliances changes which have been brought up into by the recent new administrator. The contentious issues are relating to ban of consumption of beef. Secondly, establishment of Lakshadweep Development Authority, which has been given powers to take compulsory acquisition of land from the local communities. And third is, sir, the Gunda Act, which says that preventive detention can be done with a very few checks and balances. Now, the people complain that it is that they were not consulted, or there was no community consultation, and it is against their rights. So, and hence the dispute.
Okay, fine. So, what's your view? Can we make Lakshadweep the next Maldives?
Sir, they are saying that these development regulations are to make it Maldives. Yes, sir, definitely we can make it Maldives. There is I don't think there is any issue in that. But to make it Maldives requires an essential consultation with the stakeholders. They should also be happy and satisfied that making it Maldives. If they are not happy, even a Maldives or Singapore might not be helpful for the interest of the nation. So I think making it Maldives, the necessary prerequisite should be that the people should be happy and they should be consulted, and their interest should also be safeguarded.
What's your view? Yesterday, Mamata Banerjee and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi again had a tiff.
Yes, sir.
So what happened there?
Sir, there was a review meeting scheduled or for the cyclone Yas. Mamata Banerjee did not attend that meeting, and hence the hue and cry around that. Mamata Banerjee says that she had already conveyed her concerns to Prime Minister and she had taken his permission, while the BJP government says that it is against the protocols and she should not have brought her, she should have attended that meeting.
Okay, so what's your view?
Sir, my view is that if she had already conveyed her concerns to the Prime Minister, and if the due permission had been granted, and she actually had some other commitments, and it had been proactively intimated to the Prime Minister, then there should not be any issue around that. And
do you think it's just Mamata Banerjee trying to play power politics and trying to show that she can be a prime ministerial candidate for 2024?
Sir, to term her not attending a certain meeting is to her power projection. I think it is a far-fetched notion. Maybe she has ambitions to be Prime Minister, but if the due permission of Prime Minister had been taken, then I don't think it was a power projection or her ambitious outlook for being a PM in 2024.
Have you heard of the Heron drones?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me why they have been in news recently?
Sir, India has planned to to lease out 4 Heron drones from Israel to primarily undertake surveillance activities around LAC.
Okay. Why the name Jagga? And like friends must be calling you Jagga, or do they call you
Sir,
Sujawal, or is there another nickname?
in my hometown they call me Sujawal, but since I have been in Delhi and Gurgaon for 5 to 7 years, they find Sujawal a bit difficult, and so they call me by name Jagga.
That's great. Okay. Now one thing, how much is the forest cover in Lakshadweep?
Sir, I'm not sure of the exact.
That is one of the issues, like development ka jo aapne bataya ki about 97 point some %. Anyways, now Sujawal, you from Abohar?
Yes.
What is Abohar famous for?
Sir, Abohar is famous for its kinnu cultivation. The produce of kinnu in India, 60% of the produce is from Abohar. So secondly, Abohar is famous for being a wildlife sanctuary in a unique perspective that it is an open wildlife sanctuary. So these are the 2 major reasons.
What are the animals that it protects?
Sir, black buck and blue bull.
Okay. Is there a shrine in Abohar?
Sorry, sir.
Very famous shrine?
Yes, sir. Sir, a shrine of Panchpir, the Tiba of Panchpir, what we call it, it is also famous in Abohar.
It is also famous?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you have been a practicing chartered accountant.
Sir, I was in job, sir, not a practice.
Anyway,
yes, sir.
you were working as a
Yes,
CA
yes,
ultimately.
yes.
Those were the skills that you were applying, which you had learned.
Yes, sir.
My point is that if as a individual person in my own private capacity, I want my returns to be filled,
Yes, sir.
and somebody advises me that you go to an income tax lawyer.
Yes, sir.
There is no problem, just normal returns need to be filled.
Yes,
I
sir.
need guidance from him. Ultimately, sometimes it is seen that the income tax lawyer also goes to some CA, or he gives the job to a CA. He has some CAs working for his firm.
Yes.
What do you think? It's the CA who does the actual work, or the income tax lawyer?
Sir, under Income Tax Act, per se, there is no obligation for that only CA can do it, or only lawyer can do it, or there is no obligation.
Or even an individual can do it?
Yes, sir. Because, sir, filing a return is like a duty of a citizen. So, if he takes help of any consultant, there is no legal bar. But in practice, if we see, both the CAs and income tax lawyers do work in their respective fields, because an income tax lawyer is at the end of the day also a law expert, and Income Tax Act is also a law. But the proficiency or the expertise of CA comes in the place of financial management, wherein he can actually help a return payer in managing his finances better, rather than just having a narrow focus on minimizing the tax burden.
Okay. Now, you are from a family where you personally feel, I feel you're responsible,
Yes,
where
sir.
you feel I don't want to burden my parents.
Yes, sir.
Was there any pressure on you that we want to get rid of you, or we can't afford?
No, sir, not at all.
It
No
was
pressure.
just your voluntary.
Sir, actually, the thing was, my parents are both 60 plus now. So my mother got retired last month. At that point of time, when I was in 12th class, it was such that they had to marry off my sister, and my father was also medically not well. So rather than bringing more uncertainty into the family, it was thought as a family consensus and not my personal opinion or out of compulsion, but it was a very well thought out choice to be into CA rather than directly taking up civil services.
Okay, gentlemen, I want to ask you one specific thing about national and international things that are happening around Mr. Modi.
Yes, sir.
We talked about Mamta ji, we talked about Modi ji.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of Modi as a leader? Now, this is not political, just still. Be honest.
Yes, sir. Sir, Mr. Modi undoubtedly is a powerful and charismatic leader. He has been into the power for last 7 years, and to count on the strengths or the successes of his regime, I'd say national security in terms of the terrorism and infiltration should top the list. And secondly, sir, the abrogation of 370. It required a very stern political will. But I'd say it is an incomplete process because the development, actual development, if it comes in, would complete the 370 abrogation. And there are certain allegations, or maybe we can say that there are not confirmed reports that there are increased chances of a right-wing government, but it is not like it has been proved and there are facts around it. But I think he has been a great leader, though there had been concerns around handling of second wave, but I think he can definitely come back stronger and work on the mistakes that have been made.
Okay, China has been an adversary of India.
Yes, sir.
And now quite openly so, that is what has been happening. What do you think Chinese strategy is there to contain India rather, and what Indian strategy is there to counter it?
Sorry sir, can you please?
हमारा देश चाइना के साथ काफ़ी आपको पता है उठापटक होती है, तो चाइना की क्या स्ट्रेटजी है कि वो भारत को कंटेन करके रखे,
Yes.
और भारत की क्या स्ट्रेटजी है कि वो उसके चंगुल से निकला रहे,
Yes.
उसमें ना फंसे?
Sir, the Chinese strategy is that it is a rising superpower, and so is India. But China has risen far quicker than us. So to contain India and prevent it from joining hands with US, it will always use the border dispute as a bargaining chip. The second strategy of China is of a string of pearl strategy of gathering some ports around India like Hambantota and Gwadar. And it third strategy is of five-finger policy, in which it says that Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and the Eastern Ladakh are part of China. To apply this strategy, they are undertaking in multifaceted form, like economically. We have very high current account deficit, around $60 billion with China. And we have very high FDI coming in from China in most of our startups and companies. To counter this, Indian strategy has also been multi-pronged, like our engagement with US in Quad and Indo-Pacific. Secondly, our defense modernization, that is we are going towards to theaterization of our commands. And in terms of economy, we have started Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, in which the farm laws, liberalization of economy, new labor codes, mining regime liberalization has been undertaken. So we have also a robust strategy, and we are seeing that we have been able to counter them successfully, but we need to double up our efforts.
Okay, we had a charismatic leader before once, you remember?
Yes.
We have had many leaders.
Yes.
But let's look at Mrs. Gandhi. She did something with Sikkim.
Yes, sir.
Sikkim was also a separate little state.
Yes, sir.
So now Bhutan is also in controversy. Nepal is also in controversy.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Mrs. Gandhi's strong approach, she even did a cutting edge blow to this Bangladesh also, Pakistan को दिया? आप क्या सोचते हैं कि ऐसी leadership दोबारा देश को चाहिए?
Sir, to counter China or
to counter China, to protect India, to look in our interests?
Sir, we need strong leadership, undoubtedly. We need political will.
Do you think that is there now?
Yeah, sir.
Be honest. Don't. You're not impressing. We are not from a party.
Sir, we have that political will, but certain deficiencies of our structural or fundamental conditions deter us from exercising it.
Tell them.
Sir, it is our economic weakness, to be very precise, because until and unless we are economically stronger, we cannot keep on making huge expenditure on the military, because the defense automatically takes a hit, and then our economic dependence on Chinese again prevents us from undertaking any boycott or making some strong engagement with US, because we know we are dependent on Chinese for pharma sector, for e-commerce sector also. So we need we have that certain degree of will, but to exercise that will, we also need our strong fundamentals, which we are working on, and hopefully we will be able to accomplish our ambition and vision.
We are facing Islamic terrorism.
Yes, sir.
All over the world.
Yes, sir.
How do you look at our relationships with Iran, and how will it help? And also at the same time, we are trying to be good with Israel.
Yes, sir.
So how does it work out? What do you look at it? How
Sir,
do you look at it?
Yes, sir. Sir, first one, that regarding the Islamic terrorism. Sir, to term it as Islamic terrorism, I think is we are making a label of religion on some terrorist, because terrorist is not does not see a religion. It is just like a concept. But what we have seen is like Islamic maybe radicalization or the concept of jihad, so to say, to counter it from by engaging with Iran and Israel is like, from Iran we see that they are a Shia dominated country, and they also want a peaceful Middle East, West Asia, because they are struggling economically. To manage our relations with, to ensure that we do not encounter more Islamic radicalization, we have to undertake we have to have very good relations with the West Asia countries like Iran, and also with Saudi, UAE. But we also need to have.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. Saudis are Sunnis, Wahhabis.
Yes, sir.
So,
but sir,
how do we carry them all together?
Sir, I think we have this regime at least has been very successful in maintaining good relations with both Saudis and Iran, because we have been a partner of Strategic Partnership Council of Saudis, and till late, before we stopped importing oil from Iran, we had very good relations with Iran also. And sir, your earlier question like Israel. Israel undoubtedly is at loggerheads with Iran, but I think we have a tightrope to walk, and we have been executing multiple policies like the current stance in UNSC and UNHRC of India regarding Israel-Palestine issue, and our also request to US for granting a waiver for Chabahar port. I think we have been making a lot of steps for that, and
you get selected, let's say.
Yes.
And we wish so, and we pray so. But also at the same time, you are appointed in Abohor itself.
Yes, sir.
You know, so what are the issues that you like to address first and foremost in Abohor? It's a hometown?
Yes, sir. Sir, first and foremost issue will be around, sir, cleanliness. Because, sir, Abohor ranked in the least 10 clean cities under Swachh Bharat ratings for consecutive 2 years. So I think that will be my foremost area to work upon if I am deployed in Abohor.
What is the biggest challenge?
Sir, in terms of...
What is the biggest challenge in keeping Abohor clean?
Sir, there are multiple challenges. Sir, first and foremost is that there are multiple and very regular strikes and protests by the Safai Karmcharis of that place. Secondly, sir, the sewage or the treatment plants are not cleaned very regularly, and they are very old infrastructure, and the population of that city has increased.
The garbage collection and disposal is not satisfactory.
Yes, sir.
How will you set it right?
Sir, I think it has to, a host of measures have to be undertaken for that. First one can be, we have to have the running vans of waste collection from home, segregated waste collection.
As yet it is not there.
Sir, it has started off in last any year or so, because after the Choko Abohor campaign, which is started by Punjab government. They have started doing this, but I think it has to be doubled down, or maybe we have to be very vigorously doing it, because the quantum of waste is very high. So the more vans have to be deployed, more people have to be trained, and then we have to have that the people or the household ones, they segregate the waste actually. If we are collecting waste, it is not segregated, then processing it or the converting it into recyclable products is a challenging task. So people have to be incentivized for that. For that, we can have ward level committees, we can have community leaders, or the local youth can be roped in for that. And then we can have a local level certifications or awards for people who do some excellent job in this.
You have a girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
Suddenly she finds that she doesn't want to marry you. You were planning.
Yes, sir.
And she says, sorry, Mr. Jagga, it's all done, over, finished.
Okay,
how will
sir.
you handle it?
So
what will be your reaction?
Sir, it would be an unfortunate thing to happen. First of all, I'll have a very strong, very open discussion with her that what are the reasons that she finds that it cannot happen. Because where there is will, there is a way. I'll discuss the reasons with her, and we'll see that what are the...
She simply tells you no. She says you can go to hell.
Sir, I think if I have a girlfriend and it will not happen that she will not give me the reason, or she will simply say me a very blank no.
Why?
But because sir, the kind of relationship I develop or build, it is based on mutual trust and loyalty, which cannot be shaken very soon or very fast.
Okay, one question, then we'll pass you on.
Yes, sir.
How do you look at the institution of marriage in the modern world, and what are the substitutes, which are emerging? And do you look at them positively, or do you find them they are not good?
Sir, marriage has been a very sacred institution in Indian culture and society. The recent changes in terms of the institution of marriage are that the live-in relationships, fast and maybe increasing divorce rates, and the institution of marriage changing from being having some religious connotation or as a duty to a fulfillment of the fulfillment of needs of individuals. So these are the, yes sir, and then the families shifting from joint families to nuclear families. Sir, my view around marriage is that yes, it is a very strong institution, and to have a very strong relationship and a good partner helps in the material and spiritual
Just to
success.
help you bring in the question more closer, you already hit it. Live-ins, gay relationships,
Yes, sir.
LGBT. How do you look at that?
Sir, they are against the customary morality, so to say. But these are not what we can term as illegal or what we can term as unnatural. Our constitution grants our individuals the rights of Article 19 and 21 to express ourselves and to choose our partner. So legally, I don't.
Some things may not be illegal, but do you think you're right when you say they are not unnatural?
Sir, it depends upon the opinion and the thoughts of a person. The nature for last from the start of history, we have had a certain kind of biological relationships.
Thank you, Mr. Jagga. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, sir.
Sujawal, sorry. You said that अच्छे रास्ते पे चलने वाला, right? Okay, so you said you worked as a CA, and if I'm not wrong, most clients ask their CA guy, क्या tax बचा लो,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
So somebody who's अच्छे रास्ते पे चलने वाला, क्या वो इंडिया का टैक्स बचाता है? And if you do so, do you think that it comes under corruption? And as a civil servant, how you think the so-called, हम कहते हैं सिस्टम बहुत करप्ट है. It's like हमारा कॉमन है, कोई भी गवर्नमेंट हो, बीजेपी की हो, कांग्रेस की हो, किसी की भी हो, पुलिस वाला हो, और ये तो पैसे खाता होगा, right? So how do you see this, how do you see your role in changing that, and were you somebody who actually saved taxes of your clients?
Ma'am, actually my work as a CA was in internal audits, not per se tax. But I have had a very decent experience in the field of taxation because I had multiple friends and colleagues who were working in taxation field. Sir, the contention of a client to save tax can be segregated into two parts. I help him save his tax, which is in compliance with the law. I help him make certain investments. I help him make certain investment channels through which he can save tax, and those are allowed by the law, Income Tax Act. That is termed as tax planning, and that is promoted by government itself because it helps in channelizing the finance into investment, and it helps Indian economy. So second can be tax evasion, which is per se illegal and immoral, definitely. Now certain clients might still want to save a tax, though it is illegal and it falls into the category of illegal and immoral. If a client comes to me to save tax through tax evasion, I just has to bring it to the reference of my name. If you say, though my professional ethics, my professional code of conduct, the law, and then my internal conscience will not allow to do that, because in short run I might earn a little bit of money or some cut in that, but in long run it will affect my reputation, it will affect my peace of mind, and then it might bring some legal repercussions also. So I till date I haven't done that, and I don't expect myself to do that in future also. Now being a civil servant and getting into that territory and bringing some change for the CAs to not engage into that.
CA as per, like when we say the system is corrupt,
Yes, ma'am.
how do you see yourself in the system, and how do you see that, since आप कह रहे हो कि मेरा righteousness है इतना ज़्यादा हर चीज़ को लेके, how do you see yourself that when we say the system is corrupt, so how you think you can contribute in that?
Ma'am, I think I'll take the reference of a lotus flower which stays in the mud and water throughout its life, but still it blossoms without getting a drop of water on its head. So I try to be like that lotus flower and do my duties and responsibilities as per the rule of law and to the best of my peace of mind of my conscience.
Okay, one more question, Sujawal. Now that we have Joe Biden after Trump, how do you see the relations between both the countries, India and US?
To highlight the positives that will come in for India with the presidency of Mr. Biden are the likely in the areas of climate change, because he is very pro climate change, unlike his predecessor. So in climate change, we can expect certain financial and technology transfer coming from Mr. Biden. So ma'am, secondly, it can be in the form of the trade deals which was stuck at the time of Trump. So we can expect maybe the renewal of GSP status and then signing of a trade deal. For some challenges which India might encounter and that are actually getting manifested in terms of India-Russia relationship, because it has been an historical contention that the Democrats are generally anti-Russia, and so we have seen in the presidency of Biden also that the tensions with Russia have increased. And India maintains very strong and strategic relationships with Russia. So I think Indian-Russia relationship will be challenged, especially when the delivery of S-400 takes place. Secondly, we have seen in terms of human rights, Mr. Biden is quite vocal and has explicit concerns for that. So we might expect certain statements or initiatives coming in terms of human rights from Mr. Biden's presidency.
I wouldn't like ask any new questions, but I'll just develop on whatever you have already talked about. Who gave the idea of palm and 5 digits?
Sorry, sir.
You mentioned palm and 5-digit idea. Who gave that idea?
Sir, I'm not sure of the idea who gave that idea.
So I'll tell you, Mao Zedong gave the idea, I think. So what are the 5 digits?
Sir, 5 fingers. First is Arunachal.
What is the palm? And what is Mao's palm?
It is, I think, Tibet.
Okay, and 5 digits are?
First is Arunachal Pradesh.
Uh-huh.
Second is Sikkim. Third is Bhutan. Fourth is Nepal, and fifth is East Kashmir. Like they call it. For us, it is Aksai Chin.
Okay. What is bulk drug?
Sorry.
What is bulk drug?
Bulk drug. Sir, I'm not sure of exact meaning of bulk.
Oh, that's because you just mentioned that India is dependent on China.
Yes.
In terms of pharmaceutical.
Yes.
So that's why I brought this question up. Why did you study at Open University?
Sir, being in CA requires 3 years of internship or articleship, to be very precise. So continuing articleship with the regular college is not allowed by the law and the regulations of CA institution. And the CA institution itself has a memorandum of understanding and tie-up with the Open Learning Institute, so that the exams of Open Learning and CA Institute do not clash, and the syllabus is also in sync for the interest of.
So after 12th class, you did not go to the college or anything? You didn't have to attend any college or anything?
No, sir.
Okay. You mentioned that you worked for PwC.
Yes.
PricewaterhouseCoopers?
Yes, sir.
It was blacklisted a few years ago for unethical practice.
Yes.
I hope you know the issue.
Yes.
What was the issue?
Sir, actually it relates to Satyam scam, which came into light in late or 2000s. So PwC was statutory auditor of Satyam, and when the Satyam scam broke out, it was alleged that auditors did not do their
How
duty.
are things different now at PwC?
Sir, they undertook a host of measures to ensure that such kind of non-compliance with law or illegal practices do not repeat. They have brought robust systems in terms of compliances.
You've been to Brazil and Japan as well.
Yes.
How long did you stay there at each place?
Sir, a month for each place. A month each, yes, sir.
So how did you find Japan different from India?
Sir, first is in terms of, sir, punctuality, because in India it is a general notion that the vibe of 2 minutes or 5 minutes doesn't hold much value, unfortunately. But sir, in Japan it holds a lot of value, because if we have a meeting at 9, they will reach at 8:50 or 8:45 and not at 9 too. Ma'am, sir, secondly, in terms of dressing sense, all the people will get dressed formally in the morning itself. So I think that are
there is this word in Japan called karoshi. Have you heard of this word? Karoshi. So karoshi, okay, I'll tell you, because that's not my question actually. So the word karoshi, which means death by overwork. So this is the idea which has been given to the entire world by Japan, that you know how people in India die with diabetes, high cholesterol, BP, and then all sorts of problems. So in Japan, people actually die by overworking. They are considered to be one of the most hardworking people out there. So do you think, is it a good lifestyle? And like if I may put some of the places in India are on the completely opposite spectrum. So do you think we should strike some golden balance here, or like what are the lessons that India can take from that?
Sir, to answer your first question, I think yes, it is not a good lifestyle to live with, because at the end of the day, our life goal is not to work throughout our
कर्मठ
life.
बनता है आपका देश.
Sorry, sir?
You become a developed nation. You become like forward looking, and you're working so hard that you actually die.
Sir, if a person earns certain amount of money and then dies after work, it might contribute little to economic in short term, but in long term the country loses its vital resources who could have earned more, and then it projects a sense of unhappiness in the community or the citizens that we have not been able to live peacefully. So no amount of money can compensate for the happiness or contentment of people. And sir, to answer your second question, that what can India learn from that lifestyle, I think we can learn to be a bit more punctual. We can learn to work more, but strike a balance. That we as Indians, and especially Punjabis, are known to be a bit little more recreational and like being happy in except there are certain challenging situations. So I think we have those strengths, and then we have to develop our strengths in terms of more hard work and more punctual, so that we can continue to grow. So Brazil,
Or did you just have fun there?
yes sir, I had a bit of fun, but then it is more of work and less of fun. Sir, in Brazil, the change is that on Sundays morning or Sundays afternoon, you will find all the shops across all the board closed, because Saturday night is like a party night for them, and they party late till night.
No, what I meant to say was like their working culture. Like how is the working culture different from India's?
So work culture is most of the same. We have
More or less, we and
yes, sir.
Brazilians
Yes.
are one and the same. Do you have any ideal philosopher or like somebody in the history that you look up to?
Sir, many people whom I look up to, but not an ideal philosopher, so to say.
So who do you look up to? Like,
Sir, I believe in the philosophy of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Sikhism, so to say. I try to follow and try to replicate and address my situations by following those philosophy and the ideas.
can you enumerate couple of them that you?
Sir, first one can be Chaddi Kala. That sweet are the uses of adversity despite challenging situations. One should follow the hukum and be happy and not be in a sort of misery, because there will be ups and downs, and they have been for everyone. So one should not lose courage and continue to work. Second can be the will to work for society, being selfless, and just like manifested in the form of langars and seva in gurudwaras, as we see. So I think that interests me, and I tend to follow it.
Okay, my last question. Albert Einstein once said, I'm quoting the actual Albert Einstein, that theory of relativity is not the most difficult thing to understand. It is the tax system. He said it, of course, in a jovial way. So what can India do to make its tax system leaner, apart from the direct tax code? Like, I don't want you to mention that. What can India do to make the tax system leaner, so that it becomes so easy, the way a layman can just pay his mobile phone bill of Airtel or Jio, as easy that a person just goes out there and fills his tax returns? So what can India do in this regard?
Sir, in this regard, a lot of measures are being taken, and we have to, because it is not an overnight shift we can actually achieve. It requires a long overhaul, because taxation has to be dependent upon the multiple class communities which are there, because we cannot impose tax on an agriculturist or a salary doing person or a businessman alike. We cannot impose tax in the most underdeveloped regions, like maybe northeast or the hilly areas or the mainland of NCR or Gurugram alike. So there will be certain differences, there will be certain compliances which might require an expert's help. But for a layman or a salary earning person or a person who does not do a very complex job, it can be made easier by bringing in the free tax consultants, because from the side of government, a side of helpline can be started, and the government has already started pre-filling the returns. If you have earned some income from bank account, it will be pre-filled. If any TDS has been deducted, it will be pre-filled. If you have earned salary from your employer, it will be pre-filled, and you just have to submit. So a host of measures have been undertaken, and the other measures will be undertaken, because partially they derive from the illiteracy also, because people do not understand the fundamentals, so it becomes difficult to file taxation or tax returns also.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.